What's up, everyone? This is the Giants beat reporter, Giant Opinions. But since there's no Giants news, I have a little special video. Today I'm going to be listing my top 3 teams I think fit the best for Trevor Bauer. And you're going to want to stick around because one team on here is very surprising. I think they are an underdog to go ahead and get Trevor Bauer, and I think it makes sense. But let's start, first of all, number 1, the New York Mets. I think Trevor Bauer would be a good fit in New York for a few reasons. First off, the Mets already have Jacob deGrom. If you have Jacob deGrom, Trevor Bauer, and Noah Syndergaard, they would have one of the best rotations in all of baseball. Second of all, their new owner, Steve Cohen, he's shown that he wants to go ahead and he is going to do a splash signing. Whether it's Springer or Bauer, that's to be determined. But Trevor Bauer, in his YouTube video, he said he ranked the Mets as the 3rd team in recruiting him. So he's interested back. He said a lot of positive things. You see him on Twitter. He's talking about Steve Cohen after his press conferences, and he's praising him. So Steve Cohen, he's very high on the Mets now. He wasn't before because of old ownership, but with new ownership, the Mets are a more appealing team, and they can pay him. That's the thing. Bauer is going to want the most money he can get, which makes sense. And Steve Cohen and their new GM that they just hired, they're going to be willing to give it to him. The Mets offense is respectable. Pitching has been suspect though for them. They have Jacob deGrom, and that's about it. Syndergaard is a little bit inconsistent. They're 3 and 4, or they're 4 and 5 starters. They're not the best. Steven Matz really needs to have a rebound season. He hasn't had that. And there's another guy, but if you add Trevor Bauer, it's going to make up for the not so good 4 and 5 starters, because they have some okay guys in the bullpen. But just adding a guy like Trevor Bauer, it would elevate the Mets so much because their offense is not really the problem. They went ahead and added James McCann. You got Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, Michael Conforto. The outfield is fine. Third base, J.D. Davis has really blossomed into someone too. So this Mets team could be a formidable foe if they go ahead and add Trevor Bauer. Their 1-2 punch would be the best in baseball, in my opinion. And I think it does make sense for the Mets. Now, the second team, this is the sleeper. I'm going to throw it right in the middle. The Oakland Athletics. Call me crazy, but hear me out. So, the A's have not really had a lot of postseason success. For the first time this year, they finally moved out of the first round, but they fell short. And a huge reason of this is because whenever they get into the playoffs, their starting pitching seems to just fall apart. And they lack a number 1 ace. Yes, they do. Jesus Luzardo, however you say his name. They do have him coming up, and I think he will eventually develop and really blossom to become the number 2 guy. But I don't think he'll ever be the number 1 ace for that team. They do have Frankie Montas too, who I like, and they have some other guys too that are eventually going to be coming up. But they need a number 1 starter, a true number 1 starter, and I think Trevor Bauer to be perfect. And another thing, the Astros are in the AL West. And Trevor Bauer hates the Astros. So what's better than to have him go to Oakland, where the fans are very passionate, they will love him to death. He can go and play the Astros regularly and consistently, go compete and try and beat them after what they did. And they have the money to spend. Now, they aren't really known for spending the money, but they have it. Marcus Semien, I do not think they're bringing him back. And that is going to free up a lot of money for the A's to go ahead and make some signings if they want to, obviously. But I think Trevor Bauer would be a great fit. Trevor Bauer can go ahead, go to the A's, and kind of refresh this A's team that has had a big notion of just not doing well in the postseason, and be the piece that will take them to the next step. And then they're going to have prospects that are come up eventually, and then they're going to be better. And if they go ahead and sign Bauer, it would remind me a lot of the early 2000s Athletics that were known for really good starting pitching. Guys like Zito, Hudson, all the other guys. Point is, I think the A's are a sleeper team. If I'm the A's GM, I would take a serious look into Trevor Bauer. And if I'm Trevor Bauer, I would consider the A's too. People might not think the A's is an attractive destination, and maybe it's not as good as New York, obviously, but there's a lot of enticing things for Trevor Bauer to go there for. And the Astros being in the division is a huge key contributing factor for me. And now we got the last team. The third and last team is the San Diego Padres. The Padres, they really had a spectacular season. They really blossomed into a pretty full, not complete yet team, but they showed a lot of promise. Fernando Tatis lit it up. You have cornerstones on that team, Manny Machado, Eric Hosmer. They went ahead and traded for Mike Clevenger. They extended him too. They have Austin Nola behind the dish now, catcher who they went ahead and traded for. Trent Grisham is a very nice piece in the outfield. And this team is looking in the right direction. And Mackenzie Gore is going to be called up next season too, most likely. But I think the Padres are a great spot for Trevor Bauer because, once again, they kind of lack that number one ace starter who you can always rely and count on to give the ball to. I like Mike Clevenger. He struggled a little bit, though, in San Diego in his brief stint there before he got hurt. I believe he's going to miss at least the first half of this upcoming season, too. There's going to be a huge hole at starting pitching for the San Diego Padres. Now, I do like some of their guys. I like Joey Lucchesi. Dinelson Lamet has some dirty stuff. If he works on his control, I think he could be a number 2 starter, in my opinion. I'm high on him. But the Padres, they still need to get better. I don't see them beating the Dodgers if they faced in the NLCS this upcoming season. I think the Dodgers are still the better team. So if you're the Padres, you go ahead and get Trevor Bauer, who on his YouTube video stated them as the 3rd fan base that was appealing to him. He likes the fans. He praised the fans too. And the Padres still have guys that are going to be coming up too. So if you sign Trevor Bauer, it's not like you only have 2 years to go ahead and win a World Series, and then you got to try and trade him away. No, Trevor Bauer can be a staple piece for the Padres going forward for these next 4 or 5 years. And I think this Trevor Bauer signing would be amazing for them. I really do think so. Their GM, he wants to make the team better, as shown by this past season. And I think if he goes ahead and trades for Trevor Bauer, that would be a amazing move in my opinion. So those are the 3 teams I have. I know I didn't mention the Angels, which is a lot of people's number 1 team, but honestly, I don't really think it's the best fit for the Angels specifically. So let me know what you guys think about this. Appreciate you. My channel is called Giant Opinions. I'll link it down below too. Check me out there if you want. But thanks for watching. If you stuck around through, leave a like, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.